Welcome to our daily. I will go fetch for the YouTube link. I don't know why, but it usually takes a couple of seconds before the link appears. Okay, got it. The link is shared in Telegram. I think that we can start, Martin. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So for me, I've been working, creating some tickets and helping with code reviews, and also I started the implementation for the store. I think I will have something basic working today so that we can block others. But yeah, it's looking good. That's it for me.
That's great. Paul, do you want to continue?
Sure. So we've been mainly focusing on finalizing the tree that I've been working on. So as we discussed with Martin, or a little bit with you also, Thomas, when you, I think on Monday, I'm building the function tree of the state transition function. So I finalized mapping the whole functional tree of the state transition. So now I think we have it's like clearer, at least to me, how we need to implement it. And I will be sending a PR on the repo or something like that to add it in the docs so everybody can read it. And after I will update and add issues to be able to add it to the issues and to say, okay, before you work on the issues, make sure that you read the specs correctly, that you understand what you're implementing, that you've looked at the tree, so you understand like what branch are you building and what are the prerequisites, like what are the different functions that you will need to implement to be able to build your function. And so I think Martin has done the issues already for operations, and I will build the functions now for the issues now, sorry, for block processing. No, Martin has done epoch processing, sorry, and I will do block processing.
Perfect. Thank you for that. That will be very helpful. Okay, as for me, I've been working on I've been working on the boilerplate for the spec tests, for the fork choice spec tests. I should have that ready for some point today. I still have a couple of hours left. And when at the same time I'm working on that boilerplate, I'm working on the issues for the fork choice specs. So the idea is to upload that PR and start creating all of those issues with it. Because if we have the boilerplate, then it's easier for us to tell, hey, you need to complete these couple of functions. So yeah, my goal is to have that ready by the end of today. And that's it. After I'm done with that, I will go back to debugging the issues with the spec tests and the macros. Because it seems, Paul discovered the other day that there were some problems with the spec tests, especially when he tried to do the patch function. The tests were kind of running in compile mode. There's a couple of things that we need to revisit there before being able to patch anything, and that's kind of blocking at the same time everything related to the execution client testing, because we should mock it with either patch or whatever else, but whatever else would probably have the same issues. So yeah, I will go back to that tomorrow after finishing this.
Yeah, I think it would be a great idea. I think Martin maybe talked about it yesterday. I think it would be a great idea to try to maybe rebuild or rework our test suite, maybe without using macros and with not using functions, but real like test, the test keyword, just because I think it would simplify them. And also it would make it easier for newcomers to come in and be able to implement tests, because right now it's a little bit opaque how the tests are implemented and the test runners work. And the last thing would be also yesterday, I think you were there during the call of the Ethereum Fellowship, and basically there was like the NIM, one of the NIM core developer, like a NIM consensus client developer. He was saying like, I think one of the most important things, like advices that he had, was like make sure that it's super easily testable, because that's like one of the most, if not the most important thing to make sure of, is that the tests pass, and we will need to implement a lot of tests. So making sure that it's very easily testable, that the tests are optimized, that they run pretty fast, and that it's easy to add some or modify some. So taking a little bit more time working on the test suite, I think would impart, even though it's not the funniest, but I think it could be positive.
Yeah, of course, I agree. I think that one of the things that was important on the talk of the APF the other day was integration tests, even more than spec tests. And I do think that the way the runners operate is pretty transparent, because the test runner code is just there. It could be better documented, and I will give you that. So we can do a quick README, not a README, but a quick Markdown document explaining how it works. But it's just kind of a simple macro. I do agree with you in the sense that it needs to be optimized. Like, it's not performant enough for now. It's not performant enough because each time that we want to run spec tests with any kind of modification, then we parse all of the spec tests, like the files that we have downloaded from the YAML files, and that takes a lot of time. Like, it takes almost 30 seconds, and it's unacceptable that we have to wait about 30 seconds. But that's a performance issue, which is separate from the patch issue. Of course, if you have a performance issue, that makes iterating and solving the patch issue harder, because you have to wait 30 seconds between running tests. And also, like, Elixir LS is completely destroyed by that, because it needs some level of compilation each time that you modify anything in the spec tests. And if you're working on spec tests, and basically you cannot use Elixir LS. So you have no syntax highlighting, you have no linting, you have a lot of problems. Like, if you're not working on spec tests, anything else works perfectly fine with Elixir LS, which is kind of an ongoing discussion that we were having. Like, hey, why is Elixir LS working so bad? And it's specifically because of that. Like, it was working very well for me because I was not working in the tests. But if you change anything in the test, Elixir LS just like blows up. So yeah, we definitely have a performance issue there, and the performance issue also impacts like how quickly we can iterate, and that's something that we should prioritize. So yeah, I will be prioritizing that myself, as no one else seems free at this time. But I will do that after the issues. So probably tomorrow will be my first day working on that. Okay, any final comments or questions? Oh yeah, so sorry, just to clarify, I didn't remember, but Thomas had a day off today, so he wasn't going to be participating here. All right, I think that we can finish the daily today. But thank you all for coming, and see you all tomorrow.